Shut up and listen, okay? People will tell you everything. People love to talk. If you put together a proper question, people will tell you their lifestyle. Today we are going to touch probably one of the most important life hacks, and that is negotiations. Negotiations is a part of our life, not necessarily touching one particular point of life, but basically touching every point of your life, from family to business, to people you meet on the street, to somebody who is trying to rob you, somebody that is trying to do something bad for you, for you, to your family. It's all touches to the one thing: your ability to get people to listen to you, your ability to get people involved in any part of the conversation that you are trying to address, or any issue that you're trying to address. It's probably important in every, as I said, aspect of life. Now, start with your family. We negotiate with our family every day. We talk to our wives, we talk to our children, husbands, moms, uncles. And the reason a lot of times is not just because you're trying to deliver some pleasant questions, but at the same time, most of the conversations involved something that you want. Whatever it is, maybe from kids, you want them to behave themselves, you want them to study, you want them, most importantly, to listen to you. It's part of negotiations. You're talking to your mom, and your mom wants you to do something, or your dad wants you to do something, and they're using their own skill set to address any issues or questions or wants that they want you to do. Again, this is part of negotiations. Going to business, again, any business, talking to your employees, talking to your suppliers, talking to your investors in the investment field, trying to get a better deal on the transaction, trying to convince somebody to make an investment, trying to get lawyers, your attorneys, to listen to you. I mean, a lot of times, especially people who feel that they are professional in their field, a lot of times these people are not really broadly knowledgeable. They, in large, know their point of view. So attorney knows law, but that doesn't really mean that a particular issue that is arised is about law, right? In part, it is about people. It is about situation. What will be the outcome? Do you want that outcome? So if you have your point, you need to deliver your point of view. So most important in any part of negotiations, first of all, is to listen. Hear people out, let them speak out, ask them questions that you feel would be important for you to formulate your point of view. Maybe you're missing something. We don't know everything, same as the attorneys or same as anybody you're speaking to. We are also not fully knowledgeable of things. So what is important, is very important, is to listen. People ask questions like, a great example would be, sell me a pen. Right? With people trying to see how good of a salesperson, and they'll say, "Oh, look, this is a beautiful pen. It's an exclusive pen. It's a sharp pen. It's a great color pen." Instead of asking a proper question, and a proper question would be, "What are you looking for? What of interest to you? Where do you invest? What do you eat for breakfast? What do you do when you're not working?" Get information out of people. You need to get information out of people in order to be able to clearly formulate what it is that you want them to do. And that is part of negotiation. Unless you know everything about what the person wants, what the person needs, your chances of successful closure, right? And that closure may not be just for them to buy something, but really to clearly define and deliver your point of view. Listening is really number one. I've had a team, a pretty huge team that I worked with, and first thing that we discussed is listening. Shut up and listen, okay? People will tell you everything. People love to talk. If you put together a proper question, people will tell you their lifestyle. I used to bet in New York. We would go to a bar, and I would bet with people, look, pick anybody in the room, and I will come up to them, and in 5 minutes, this person will tell me everything about his life. And that's just ability to properly approach people, properly address people, and most importantly, ask proper questions. You ask proper questions, you will get proper answers. Next, I think what is very important is the way you handle the conversation. So it is important not to talk fast for many reasons. Be clear, be precise, but do not talk fast. Talk slow, slow down. What does slowing down to do? The one most important aspect of slowing down your conversation with someone is people want to hear what you have to say next. If you pause, okay, as long as you pause, I will remember probably one of my most favorite movies, Few Good Men. And it's an unforgettable moment where Tom Cruise is playing an attorney, and Jack Nicholson is playing a general who is commander of the US Marines that are stationed in Cuba. And there's a guy that dies, and it dies for a reason because General did something. Well, I gotta see the movie, but not the point. The point is, he speaks out, Tom Cruise speaks out and trying to get the guy's nerves. And the room goes quiet, and he goes quiet for 3 minutes. The general gets up and tries to walk out. You said everything, walking out of the room. And Tom Cruise says, I did not allow you to get up yet. I still did not finish my questioning. And that blew the guy to a point where he basically opened up and says, yes, I said that, and I did it, and I know why I did it. So, it is very important to slow down, to think about what you're going to say next. That is another very important point. If you're rushing, it does not give you ability to put together proper words, to put together proper sentence, to think about what people hurry, we do stupid things if we react in a moment. If you pause, and this is the same thing, whether it's, again, negotiating a deal or talking to somebody, I don't know, somebody that's holding a knife to you, say, stop. And that moment gives you the ability to think what you're going to do next. Punch him in the face, knock out the knife, walk away. So very important is the way you hold your conversation with the other side. There's been many examples in my life in terms of negotiating various deals, closing various deals. And the third, probably the most important in negotiation, do not go into negotiations unless you know the theme that you're going to discuss. Know it to the teeth. Be the professional. Unless you know exactly everything that not maybe everything, but the most important parts that you'll be able to maybe cheat because you'll say yes, okay? Because you'll say, I know. But unless you know what you're talking about, unless you know what is the point of discussions, especially in deal negotiations, transaction negotiations, be ready to answer any questions that will come up. This is a very, very important point as well. In part of negotiation, or part of convincing someone to do something with you, do not take no for an answer. No is sometimes a yes. So somebody says no, what do you say? Can I ask you why? He'll say, okay, no, because the sun is not shining. Anything else that is stopping you or holding you back from doing this transaction, or from buying something, or from selling something, what else? I think that today is not a good day to close on. Can I ask you why? What, the sun is not in the sky, you're not feeling good? What is the reason? Give me a reason. Well, because I don't know, I didn't put a proper shirt, and to me, I need to make a deal. If I deliver to you another shirt right now, would you do the deal? So And it also, again, goes back to how you hold your conversation, how you are conducting yourself. So if you're nice and you're actually answering his problems, right? You want to understand what is the problem. Don't ask what is the problem, but you want to understand what is the problem. Okay? At the end, he'll come to a corner where he won't be able to object anything anymore. I need time to think. Tell me what is exactly you'd like to think about. And again, going back to understanding, you have to understand the other side. You have to understand what makes him tick or her, why they're here, right? What is their goals? What are they trying to accomplish? I mean, you need to ask questions. Questions should not be harsh. Questions should not be, oh, come on, you got to do the deal. That's not the way you behave yourself. You need to properly addressed, nicely, smart. And also, it is very important to really broad understanding of your opponent. I mean, many deals that I've closed, I did not close them because I had a great deal. I closed them because I learned to understand who is on the other side in front of me or who is on the other side of the phone. What do you do? Did you collect art? What other investments do you make? Do you buy horses? Do you play golf? Do you play tennis? Where do you go on vacation? What's your favorite spot? What's your favorite color? I mean, in asking these questions, all of a sudden, okay, my favorite spot is in Italy. Oh my God. I love Italy. I'm spent so much time there. I love Rome. What do you think of Rome? What's your favorite town in Italy? So you want to get the person on your side. You want to connect. You want to find connection. I think it's very important to know that people are different. I think in my life, I was able to talk to people that cleaned the streets, people that spoke completely different languages, people, billionaires, millionaires, people in politics. Everyone is different. We are different. People are different. Why are marriages successful and why marriages fall apart? Well, one of the reasons why marriages are successful is because we listen to each other. This is the same thing with business. Business is successful because we listen to each other. We are all different. I've had negotiations with people all over the world. It is also important, and I think it's missing a lot of people, is understanding the culture. One of the stories, I had a very nice friendship for several years with a guy who held a very high position in Chinese government. And one day I came to China. He was in Hong Kong, and he actually just flew from Hong Kong to see me to Guangzhou. He came, he said, oh, great, we had lunch. And then I said, listen, I gotta leave. I have a meeting that I cannot not attend to. I left, and the guy got incredibly upset about it. Simply because he came all the way to see me, he cleared his time, but I left him. It was not that I didn't want to meet him thereafter, but it is in their culture that, that's how friends do not behave. Same thing, Indonesia. Indonesians are very easily get upset. So, you cannot raise voice. You cannot say that they're incorrect. They say yes to everything. So you have to, if you negotiate in Indonesia, you have to adhere to their culture. You have to listen to them. Again, slow down. Look, I think it's important to know that you cannot win everything, and you cannot win all the negotiations that you will. I think that the main issue is to walk away from the table and people respect you. And that will allow you to come back to the table again and again and complete your task. Everything in life, whether it's family, business, investments, begin with the conversation.